This is where I live. That cardboard there, it comes from the dollar store. I use it to cover my windows here so that I can turn on the heat and try to keep some of the heat in. I was going to use it for making some cardboard airplanes. Every single thing that I did at my dad's house, I got snapped at for. And he's got 10,000 things that he wants me to do. Now, there's 2 videos on this YouTube channel with my dad, maybe 3. The last 2, my dad knew he was being recorded. And as a result, he tried to play things off that were not the way they were. Of course, I'm pissed off at my dad. Is he real family? No, he's never been real family. When I was a kid, he was in prison for cocaine. Now, I got pictures of my grandma and grandpa's headstone in Bayard, Nebraska. It shows that both of them were dead by the time I was 5. I actually got taken out of a foster home to go to my grandpa's funeral. And my grandma's funeral, as I'm told, I was staying with my Aunt Mary. Now, I remember my Aunt Mary being there. I remember me and my older brother Eric viewing the casket and seeing my grandma. I remember pressing on her cheek and seeing her eye socket cave in. My brother still tells that story. A lot of people have done a lot of wrong things to me. Now, there's a lot of people who have been harassing and threatening me lately, like that Nicholas Romero feller. I knew him when I was in Boulder. And that's the thing about people slandering your name. When you slander somebody's name and accuse them of being a child molester, people go the fuck after you. And the 2 people that I was accused of molesting, well, first of all, Natalie, by her own admission, we never had a sexual relationship. So that one's out the goddamn window, first of all. And second of all, she was 18 before I even knew her name. I guess I knew her name when she was 17 because her and her sister Alicia had them 2 older gentlemen they were walking with. But those gentlemen were old enough. I figured that I hadn't seen those 2 in a few years. They were probably 18. However, I didn't talk to either one of them until they were 18 after that. There's a guy named Pierre. Pierre should have come forward to make a statement. Instead, he blocked me because I was pissed off and raging on Facebook. A lot of people find that scary. Well, imagine how scary it is for me having to deal with that in person, especially when people are swinging. At my dad's house, I didn't worry about him swinging. They cracked his chest open. He had heart surgery. He's not in any kind of physical shape to be fighting. And down at Shannon's, I wasn't worried about her getting physically violent with me because she's not physically violent with anyone. She takes a lot of physical punishment. But she is extremely verbally abusive and mentally abusive and emotionally abusive. That's not a safe environment for me. That's the thing, trying to explain why it is that I'm fucking freaking out. I needed actual help, and drunk people don't help. They do exactly what Shannon does. The same thing on repeat. I say the same thing on repeat for a reason. To keep it fresh. As long as I keep talking, somebody might hear the story. There's a lot of stuff that I got wrong. And I'm not going to pretend that I didn't get it wrong. I'm not a Christian, so I'm not going to wait until I'm dead to admit that I fucked up. I fucked up a lot. But I was also angry on those videos back in 2017 because of all the shit that I was going through, things that I am going through even worse now. It's obvious I didn't kill Natalie. But that didn't stop people from spreading the rumors they did. And it destroyed my life, prevented me from having an honest day in court. When there was an opportunity for the public to actually give a shit, The Boulder police made sure they did everything in their power to make sure that nobody gave a shit. I was the one being stalked, and that's why I was screaming at the top of my goddamn lungs. I was being stalked by a bunch of heroin users and meth users. People who I had helped out in the past. Nicholas Romero. He was an alcoholic. He's also a Native American, so that's a stereotype for me to say that, isn't it? It doesn't make it any less true. But for him to be harassing me and accusing me of things that I didn't do, over things that I didn't do, and rumors of things that I didn't do, well, it's pretty well fucked. And yes, I am going to continue speaking out about it. I am glad for the help that people were able to provide. I'm pissed off that the help that I needed, they promised me. They told me they would help me how I needed, and none of them did. Not one person sat down with me and reviewed all the stuff that I was going through. The police in Colorado should have done that. The assault at the Boulder County Hospital was because after 5 days of being threatened, harassed, and intimidated and assaulted by the general public, by people that I know, by homeless people, and by police officers, I was overwhelmed. But finding justice for Natalie was more important than all of their bullshit. When it got to the point where I actually tried to commit suicide, there's a reason for it. It's because of Candace Bondurant in specific and what happened at her house. Between Candace Bondurant and Shelley and that phone call, yeah, that pretty well fucked up my entire life. And yeah, I typed a lot of really mean shit to those people. You know why? Because when I was nice, people didn't listen. When I was nice, they shoved their own goddamn bullshit at me and made decisions for me like I'm too fucking stupid to know what's going on. No, there's a lot going on. That's the point, is that there is too much for me to sit down and explain. Instead of it being me explaining to Miss Natalie that I wasn't sure if I was comfortable staying there in Virginia, it became a year of abuse because she wanted to hide her heroin use, because she wanted to hide the fact that I was invited. Maddie Boa, she was lied to. She was told by Alicia Bollinger that I threatened Alicia's family in Virginia, which is not true. Now, the fact is, these people all had other people do their dirty work. All of them. See, Alicia had Maddie Boa do her dirty work. Maddie Boa spread the rumors and had meth heads do her dirty work. Tim Beeson was doing their dirty work. The fact is, Natalie Bollinger, by her own admission, said that I did not molest her. Said that we did not have a sexual relationship. So that leaves it up to Alicia Bollinger, and they made sure that I couldn't take that bitch to court. You guys want me to say nice things? Just because I love you doesn't mean you're not a piece of shit. You guys aren't getting that, are you? Just because I love somebody does not mean that they didn't do anything wrong. Doesn't mean that they would never do anything wrong. And you know what? Even if my own brother does something wrong, no matter how much I love him, if he molests his kids, I'm going to fucking say something. That's pretty cut and fucking dry.